What would you do if 5 young men disappeared under the most bizarre circumstances, leaving behind a mystery that's haunted investigators for decades? This is the story of the Yuba County Five, an unsolved case so strange it's often called the American Dyatlov Pass. Buckle up, because every twist in this tale will leave you questioning reality. It all began on February 24, 1978, when 5 friends from Yuba City, California, embarked on what should have been an ordinary road trip. They were avid basketball fans, excited to watch their favorite team, UC Davis, play in Chico, about 50 miles away. For these young men, Jack Madruga, Ted Wire, Gary Mathias, Bill Sterling, and Jack Hewitt, the night was supposed to be filled with fun and camaraderie. Instead, it became the start of one of America's most baffling mysteries. The men never returned home. When their families woke up the next morning, the panic began. Calls to friends, searches of local hangouts, and inquiries to law enforcement turned up nothing. It wasn't until a day later that their car was found in a remote area of the Plumas National Forest, nearly 70 miles away from Chico. The discovery raised more questions than answers. The car, a 1969 Mercury Montego, was strangely intact. It wasn't stuck, and the gas tank was half full. Even more puzzling, Jack Madruga, the owner, was an experienced driver who knew better than to take unfamiliar mountain roads in winter. Why had the men veered so far off course, into a rugged and isolated area they had no reason to visit? Inside the car, the investigators found wrappers from snacks the group had purchased earlier in the evening. However, there were no signs of the men or any struggle. The keys were missing, and the vehicle appeared abandoned, as if its occupants had simply vanished into thin air. But that was just the beginning of the oddities. Months later, when the snow began to melt, a grisly discovery deepened the mystery. 4 of the men's bodies were found scattered across the rugged terrain. Ted Wire's remains were discovered in a Forest Service trailer 19 miles from the abandoned car. He had wrapped himself in sheets to stay warm, but his body showed signs of extreme starvation, even though the trailer was stocked with food. The other 3 bodies were found at varying distances from the trailer, as though they had tried to escape the elements. Jack Madruga and Bill Sterling were discovered side by side, partially consumed by wildlife. Jack Hewitt's remains were further away, reduced to bones. But Gary Mathias, the 5th man, was never found. His fate remains a complete mystery to this day. Theories about what happened to the Yuba County Five have swirled for decades. Some suggest they were chased by an unknown assailant, while others believe they became disoriented and succumbed to the harsh conditions. Yet, none of these theories explain why they were in the forest in the first place, or why they didn't eat the food in the trailer. The case becomes even stranger when you consider Gary Mathias. Unlike the others, Mathias had a history of schizophrenia and had stopped taking his medication. Some speculate he may have had an episode and led the group astray. But this theory doesn't account for the others following him into danger without question. Then there's the mysterious sighting reported by a man named Joseph Schanz. On the same night the men disappeared, Schanz claimed he saw a group of people, including a woman and a baby, in the area where the car was later found. He also said he saw headlights flashing and heard voices. Could these people have been connected to the 5 friends? Despite years of investigation, the case remains unsolved. Each clue seems to contradict the last, leaving both law enforcement and amateur sleuths puzzled. The Yuba County Five is not just a story of 5 young men gone missing. It's a labyrinth of mysteries that defies explanation and chills anyone who dares to dig deeper. What do you think happened to the Yuba County Five? Leave your theories in the comments and don't forget to subscribe for more mind-bending mysteries. Together, we might just uncover the truth. Over the years, family members of the Yuba County Five have spoken out about the haunting details of the case. Ted Wire's family, for instance, couldn't understand why he starved to death in the trailer. He was a large man, known for his hearty appetite, yet he hadn't touched most of the canned food that could have easily kept him alive. Adding to the enigma, his feet were badly frostbitten, indicating he had been outside for an extended period before taking shelter in the trailer. The group's decision-making also remains baffling. The Forest Service trailer was fully equipped with essentials, including warm clothing, matches, and propane tanks for heating. Yet, none of the equipment was used. Investigators speculated that perhaps the men were too disoriented or afraid to explore their surroundings, but why would they ignore basic survival instincts? Then there's the question of how the men ended up so far from their planned route. Jack Madruga was described as a cautious driver who never would have voluntarily taken such a dangerous detour. Some theories suggest they may have been following someone they trusted or were being chased. Witnesses claimed to have seen a mysterious pickup truck in the area around the same time, but its connection to the case was never proven. Gary Mathias remains the most perplexing piece of the puzzle. A Vietnam War veteran, he had a history of mental health struggles, but was reportedly stable in the months leading up to the trip. His glasses, shoes, and belongings were never found near the other bodies, suggesting he may have wandered even farther into the wilderness, or met a different fate entirely. Another eerie layer to the mystery comes from a map found in the car, marking out a path to a nearby trailer park. Was this their intended destination, or just a coincidence? The map was never publicly linked to any definitive lead, but it added to the growing list of questions surrounding their final hours. As investigators dug deeper, they found a troubling pattern of missteps and overlooked details. Local law enforcement initially dismissed the case as a simple disappearance, delaying the search until it was too late to track the men effectively. By the time search efforts intensified, snowfall had buried critical evidence, leaving investigators at a disadvantage. Over the years, the case has attracted the attention of amateur sleuths and true crime enthusiasts, each presenting their own theories. Some believe the men encountered foul play, possibly stumbling upon something they weren't meant to see. Others suggest a paranormal element, citing the strange sightings and eerie coincidences that have plagued this case. One particularly chilling theory suggests that the men were victims of occult or ritualistic activity. The isolated area, combined with the unexplained movements and sightings, has fueled speculation about a darker, more sinister force at play. While there's no concrete evidence to support this, the idea persists in the minds of many. Despite the lack of resolution, the Yuba County Five story continues to fascinate and terrify those who hear it. It's a tale of friendship, mystery, and tragedy, wrapped in a series of events so bizarre they seem almost fictional. Yet, for the families of the men, it's a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the unanswered questions that still haunt them. To this day, the case of the Yuba County Five remains one of America's greatest unsolved mysteries. Was it a tragic accident, foul play, or something more otherworldly? We may never know. But one thing is certain: their story serves as a chilling reminder that some mysteries may never be solved, no matter how deeply we search. If this story gave you chills, hit the like button and share it with someone who loves a good mystery. Don't forget to subscribe for more captivating crime chronicles. We're just scratching the surface of the world's greatest unsolved cases.